Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Quickly release Donald Trump's tax returns, or cause some sort of disturbance somewhere, because we need a distraction is probably what the deep state is currently saying. They want to distract your attention because they don't want you to find out the truth, or at least to take a look at some of the House documents that are currently being released, involving the January 6th committee and an individual known as Ray Epps, and of course the mystery that surrounds him. But we're not so tunnel visioned, we're not so one-track minded. What I'm gonna do is both. We'll talk about this whole Trump tax return bombshell. What it really is of course yet again another nothing burger, more harassment and bad legal precedent set by the corrupt establishment, but we're not gonna let it distract from this January 6th House committee document that just released, suggesting that the Ray Epps conspiracy theory, well, might not be a conspiracy theory after all. You guys are not gonna believe this, and trust me when I tell you, the mainstream media does not want you to see this document. They don't want you to find out the truth, but I rather enjoy the truth, so let's take a look at it. We got some stuff to get into. Let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at what Benny Johnson just posted on his social media. On January 6th, Ray Epps texted his nephew, "I was in the front with a few others. I also orchestrated it." And this is from an official document, Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol, the interview of Ray Epps on the 21st of January 2022, and this is a text message pulled from his phone. Who is Dallin Epps, first of all? He is my nephew, he's 28 years old. Okay, and we can scroll down just a little bit to the middle of the page, alright, perfect. So it looks like at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 9 a.m., your nephew texts you, "You and Jim be safe," and then at 2:12 p.m. on January 6th, you text back, "I was in front with a few others. Quote, I also orchestrated it." Folks, this is at 2:12 p.m. If you know anything about the timeline of the Capitol, this is right around the time the Capitol was being breached. This is around the time where Donald Trump was being briefed on what was going on, and Donald Trump was being pressured or being told to release a public statement telling people to go home, which he did around an hour later. And we now have official text message evidence on the record during the House Committee's investigation of Ray Epps, where Epps himself said, quote, "I orchestrated it." Don't you find it real convenient that the whole January 6th committee, all the hearings, all the interviews, were public primetime television, especially the nonsense that we saw with Cassidy Hutchinson? But the real questions that people had surrounding Mr. Ray Epps, his involvement and why he was totally ignored or let go by the FBI's investigation, while Mr. Ray Epps' interview with the January 6th Select Committee was done privately behind closed doors. Could it possibly be because they didn't want the public to see this because it would destroy their precious anti-Trump narrative? Donald Trump is the target, of course, of orchestrating the coup, the insurrection. Yet here we have Mr. Ray Epps admitting that he, in fact, at least in his own words, orchestrated it at 2:12 p.m. And of course, the coping leftoids in the comments section are suggesting that this is fake news. You're avoiding all the context. Here's an anonymous leftist Twitter troll responding, "This isn't the confession you want people to believe it is. The very next lines." This is the exact same time of the video that I just played. Help us understand this text. What did you mean by orchestrate? What did you orchestrate? Ray Epps then responded, "I just meant that you have to understand our relationship, uncle-nephew. We hunt together. We fun with each other. We do that kind of stuff. What I meant by orchestrate, I helped people get there. At that point, I didn't know that they were breaking into the Capitol. I didn't know that windows had been broken. I didn't know that anybody was in the Capitol." If I answered him, that means I was on at 2:12. I was on my way back to the hotel room. Well, there you have it, folks. Fact-checked by the leftoids, except not at all. Not even close, really. This anonymous Twitter user responded to Benny Johnson with, "This is not the confession that you want people to believe it is." Well, my response is, this is not the fact check or the debunk that you think it is. Ray Epps claims that he was just headed back to his hotel room at the time, and that he was just playing with his nephew when he said that he orchestrated it. He was just playing around. I mean, come on, guys. But of course not. We have video evidence. The only thing this is proof of is Ray Epps essentially perjuring himself. Here's Ray Epps on multiple occasions, egging on the crowd and calling on people to siege the Capitol.
"We need to go into the Capitol! Into the Capitol!"
What?
No! Peacefully! Fed! Tomorrow? I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Stop speaking.
Trumps are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
They were even chanting as they called him a Fed. When the Capitol was sieged, he was literally on the front line, orchestrating it. That is the video evidence adding context to his claim. It wasn't just a joke between him and his 28-year-old nephew. It was a statement of fact. It was an account of events during the day. Now, of course, none of this is new. The text messages are new, of course, which just adds to the credibility of the claims involving Mr. Ray Epps. The question is, why the inaction from the January 6th Select Committee and the FBI? Why the focus on Donald Trump as being the key figure who orchestrated this coup or this attack on the Capitol, which of course there is no evidence to back up that claim? Why is there a criminal referral of Donald Trump to the DOJ and not this guy, who is on the record and on video recorded actually orchestrating the events of January 6th? How is it that non-violent protesters, people who were just present, people who merely existed during January 6th, are being treated as domestic terrorists and being held in confinement without bail? Meanwhile, this guy isn't even a target of the investigation. Not to mention, this guy clearly perjures himself and lies to Congress and claims that he was on his way back to the hotel room. It's all one big lie, but he's not getting charged with lying to Congress now, is he? No, of course not, because that charge is specifically reserved for people like Roger Stone and others. Meanwhile, anyone associated to the Democrat establishment, anyone pushing the deep state's narrative, gets to lie all they want under oath and simply get away with it. Whether it's Peter Strzok, Anthony Fauci, I mean, the list just goes on. They can lie all they want. Even friggin' Michael Sussman recently getting off for essentially the same thing, lying to the FBI, misrepresenting evidence, providing falsified evidence to the FBI in Hillary Clinton's grand scheme to frame Donald Trump as a Russian traitor criminal. And of course, they all get to walk free without any consequences. That's the question that we should be asking. This is possibly the most interesting thing that has come from the January 6th investigation thus far. Yet the Democrats want to have you believe that their narrative is flawless and not to be questioned, that Donald Trump can extend his arms 12 feet, grabbing the steering wheel of the presidential limo or presidential SUV, wrestling with Secret Service agents to try to turn it around as he leads the January 6th insurrection like friggin' Braveheart up the Capitol steps. It's all one big joke, and the same question remains. Who the hell is Ray Epps? What's his connection to the DNC, the RNC, and of course, the FBI? And how is he still walking free? With everything that we know about his actions and his involvement in actually instigating violence and instigating a crowd on the day of January 6th with all the video evidence and now with the text message evidence, how is it that he is still walking free? What is the connection that is allowing this to happen? And of course, how is it connected to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer's refusal to send 10,000 National Guard troops on the day of? How is it connected to Capitol Police unlocking magnetic doors? How is it all connected? Those are the questions that I would like answered. And with Republicans taking over the House in 2022, or rather in January 2023, the question I'm asking myself is, are they going to do something about it? Are they going to launch an investigation just like the Democrats did and actually get to the bottom of what really happened on that day without chasing an anti-Trump narrative? You know, actually getting to the bottom of it, actually getting to the truth. We'll have to see, of course, but once again, another conspiracy theory seems to not be a theory whatsoever, and it's not exactly surprising at all. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.